All right, this is Miss Bernstein, and we're going to be talking about the elements of art today. The elements of art, these are the building blocks or ingredients of art, and they include line, shape, space, value, texture, form, and color. Here's an example of an image drawn using a line, a continuous line. And a line is a mark on a surface made by a moving point. Here are some examples of types of lines. First, we have horizontal lines, and the example shows that these types of lines run side to side, left to right. And when used in an artwork, they can create a calm, peaceful, stable feeling, kind of like a sunset or a lake. Vertical lines are next. They run up and down, kind of like if you think of your vertical in basketball, that means how high you can jump. So to help you keep between the difference between horizontal and vertical, horizontal has the word horizon in it. The word horizon, the horizon goes side to side where the sky meets the ground. Vertical, how high you can jump in the air. Vertical lines, when used in an artwork, give us the feeling of power, strength, and confidence. So think of skyscrapers and trees. Diagonal lines are slanted, and they run from high to low or low to high. When we use diagonal lines in an artwork, they give the feeling of movement and instability. Think of that beginning dip of a roller coaster and how scary it is. Right? You don't know what's going to happen to you. You feel unstable. Curved lines, these are one of my favorite kinds of lines, and they can be wavy or a spiral. They can also be cloud-like. Lots of different types of curved lines. Curved lines, when used in an artwork, can give a silly feeling or this graceful movement because they're a gradual change in the line. Okay, also roller coasters because of the way that they turn and curve. All right, zigzag line is our last type of line. And they are basically they can be made up of diagonal lines, they can be made up of horizontal and vertical lines, but they change quickly. They have a very abrupt directional change. It's not a gradual change like a curve, right? It's super sharp, very geometric. Okay, and when we use zigzag lines in an artwork, they can give a feeling of restlessness or anxiety. Think of a heartbeat monitor, right? That anxiety of your heart. All right, so that was line types. These are line qualities. These are different. Some line qualities include a line being bold, thick, thin, long, short, dotted, and dashed. So quality is just a way of describing the characteristic of the line. Adjectives to describe it. So some important artists that use line in their artwork. This one, you've probably seen this artist or something like this before. This is M.C. Escher, and he did these really cool optical illusions, and they're all made up of line. If you look really closely, you can see all those individual marks. Pete Mondrian. This is a French artist, and he also uses lots of lines in his artworks. These are called minimalism because they're using minimal lines and colors to create the desired effect that he's going for. All right, our next element of art is shape, and we've got two artworks here, one by Alexander Calder and then one by Henri Matisse. Okay, by definition, A shape is a defined area of color, or a defined area of texture, or a defined area made from a line. So basically, it's the outline of an object or the flatness of an object. It does not have any dimension. Doesn't have any thickness to it. It is strictly 2D, two-dimensional. 2D means two-dimensional. There are two types of shapes. The first one being geometric, and then the second one is organic. So you should hopefully be able to see right away. We've got a big difference here. So these we recognize right away. We see these in math classes, right? We've been seeing these for years in math classes. These we see outside. Okay, so geometric means you use a ruler or drawing tool, like a compass or a ruler, to create them. Organic, you cannot use a ruler or a compass to draw these, right? You have to draw them by hand. You could use a stencil, but that's not the same thing. Okay, excuse me. Okay, so these are free. We call these free form because you have to draw them basically by hand. You can't use a ruler or drawing tool to create a tree. It would look very geometric, right? It would have very straight edges. That would be very strange. Here's one artist that uses lots of geometric and some organic shapes in his artwork, Pablo Picasso. These are called Cubism, cube meaning a geometric term. And so you can see that these artworks, so this is a still life. It looks like an animal skull and a lamp or something, or a vase, and he's drawn them in a way almost like as if he drew those objects with a ruler. This is what they would look like. Same thing with this figure of looks like a female figure, possibly wearing a hat with a flower on it, and he has drawn it almost as if he had a ruler in his hand, and which makes it very cube-like, and so we call that cubism.